At the dawn of the 21st century, the U.S. Air Force dared to dream bigger than ever before. Among the most radical visions born from that era was an aircraft that could defy convention, outflee enemies, and vanish into the skies, a jet without a tail, built for stealth and speed. This was the X-44 Manta, a tailless, thrust-vectoring stealth aircraft designed to be the apex predator of the air. But despite its promise, the program quietly disappeared around the year 2000. Or did it? Today, whispers of the X-44's legacy live on, embedded in the DNA of America's next-generation air dominance program. While the original Manta never reached production, its groundbreaking concepts may have formed the foundation for the U.S. military's sixth-generation fighter plans. What was the X-44 Manta? The X-44 Manta, multi-axis no-tail aircraft, was an experimental aircraft developed under the U.S. military's X-plane program, a long-standing initiative aimed at testing next-level aviation technologies. What made the Manta special was its bold departure from traditional aircraft design. It had no vertical stabilizers or tail surfaces. Instead of using conventional control surfaces like rudders or elevators, the Manta relied entirely on thrust vectoring, redirecting engine exhaust to steer the aircraft. The idea was inspired by the shape of a manta ray, a fitting metaphor for a jet designed to glide with precision and fluidity. By removing the tail, designers significantly reduced radar signature while enhancing maneuverability. The absence of vertical surfaces also meant fewer drag-inducing components and greater fuel efficiency. Born from the F-22, built for the future. Lockheed Martin, the aerospace powerhouse behind icons like the F-117 Nighthawk, U-2 Dragon Lady, and SR-71 Blackbird, spearheaded the Manta's development. They based its airframe heavily on the F-22 Raptor, using the same engines and core fuselage. But the X-44's most obvious shift was its delta wing configuration, a wide triangular wing structure, unlike the more conventional swept wings of the F-22. This design allowed the Manta to carry larger fuel tanks, boosting range, and gave it the potential to haul a greater weapons payload. Its delta wing was not just for looks, it provided extra lift and internal storage space for fuel and armament, all while maintaining stealth capabilities. The magic of thrust vectoring. In a typical fighter jet, the tail and rudder control pitch, yaw, and roll. But the X-44 didn't have these. Instead, it used 2D thrust vectoring nozzles that could angle engine thrust to maneuver the aircraft. Imagine a fighter jet that changes direction not with flaps and fins, but by altering the direction of its exhaust gases in real time. This technique was not entirely new. Thrust vectoring was already being tested on the F-22, but the Manta took it to an extreme. With no mechanical control surfaces needed for direction, it promised lighter weight, better agility, and fewer maintenance concerns. The result was an aircraft capable of sharp, precise maneuvers that could outmatch conventional fighters in a dogfight. Stealthy but armed to the teeth. Despite its focus on stealth, the X-44 Manta was not built to shy away from a fight. Its weapon loadout would have included AIM-9 Sidewinders for short-range air combat, AIM-120 Advanced Medium-Range Air-to-Air Missile for medium-range engagements, and GBU-32 Joint Direct Attack Munition, and GBU-39 Small-Diameter Bombs for ground targets. To preserve its low radar profile, most weapons were meant to be stored internally, just like the F-22. However, the aircraft had options for external fuel tanks and even a 20mm internal cannon, keeping it versatile for various combat roles. Performance estimates projected a top speed of Mach 2 to 1,500 miles per hour, a range close to 2,000 miles, and an operational ceiling of around 49,000 feet, all powered by dual Pratt and Whitney F-119 engines, each producing 35,000 pounds of thrust with afterburners. So why was it cancelled? Despite its promise, the X-44 Manta program was quietly shelved around the year 2000. At the time, the U.S. Department of Defense chose to double down on more conventional platforms like the F-22 Raptor and the F-35 Lightning II. Why? Cost, complexity, and practicality. The Manta's radical design may have been too advanced for the era. Its all-thrust vectoring control system, while innovative, likely raised concerns about stability, training, and maintenance. The Pentagon needed aircraft that could be produced at scale and adapted to various missions. In contrast, the Manta was still experimental. But that wasn't the end of the story. The Manta's legacy lives on. Though the X-44 never entered production, NASA adopted elements of its design for research, continuing to explore thrust vectoring and tailless control systems. More importantly, many of the Manta's core concepts appear to have been integrated into the Air Force's next-generation air dominance program. The next-generation air dominance is a family of air combat systems designed to replace the F-22 and support U.S. air superiority into the 2030s and beyond. At the heart of this system is a new sixth-generation fighter, now officially designated the F-47, developed by Boeing, not Lockheed Martin. Interestingly, one of the defining features of the next-generation air dominance aircraft is its tailless design, a hallmark of the X-44. It's clear that the ideas pioneered 2 decades ago by the Manta did not disappear. They were simply waiting for the right time to take flight. F-47 and the rise of sixth-generation fighters. Boeing's F-47 is poised to become the benchmark of sixth-generation air power, marrying advanced stealth shaping with an adaptive propulsion system that stretches both range and top-end speed. Its cockpit, really the nerve center of a broader kill web, links seamlessly to swarming collaborative combat aircraft, unmanned drones that can scout, jam, strike, and sacrifice themselves as decoys, all while feeding real-time data through hardened satellite networks to the pilot's helmet and beyond. Lockheed Martin's new game plan. Despite losing the NGAD contract, Lockheed Martin isn't out of the race. Instead of contesting the decision, the company is focusing on upgrading the F-35 Lightning II with sixth-generation capabilities, including improved sensors, AI-assisted combat systems, and greater integration with drones. CEO Jim Taiclet set an ambitious target: achieve 80% of sixth-gen capability at 50% of the cost. With over 3,500 F-35s in service or production, this upgrade path offers a cost-effective way to modernize fleets globally. Overcoming stealth's newest threat. One major challenge for stealth aircraft today is the rise of infrared search and track systems. These passive sensors can detect heat signatures rather than relying on radar, a big problem for stealth jets that are optimized against radar detection. Infrared search and track can't be jammed like radar, making it dangerous. However, countermeasures are being developed. These include thermal management systems to minimize heat signatures and leveraging weather conditions like fog or rain to disrupt infrared search and track effectiveness. The next-generation air dominance sixth-generation jets are expected to include temperature control features that help cloak the aircraft in the infrared spectrum, a direct response to this emerging threat. From cancelled project to future legend, the X-44 Manta may have been shelved before it could roar through the skies, but its spirit is far from dead. Its tailless, thrust vectoring innovations were simply ahead of their time, waiting for the technology and the threat landscape to catch up. Now, in an era of autonomous drones, adaptive engines, and sixth-generation warfare, the Manta's DNA flows through the veins of the F-47 and beyond. What began as an audacious experiment may very well become the blueprint for the future of aerial dominance. And so, the legend of the X-44 Manta continues, not as a relic of the past, but as a phantom architect of the skies to come. And that wraps up the story of the X-44 Manta, the stealth jet that vanished, that may never have really left. If you enjoy diving into the secret history of one of the Air Force's most intriguing aircraft, smash that like and subscribe. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies and your afterburners on full blast. See you in the next one.